fate that we've seen before, because Genflix Arrow kind of having a hard time with this kind of lineup, but they did have Kufra this time too. So maybe that will be the follow-up if the Abyssal Arrow will hit its target. Next one, we do have to consider, will they pick a marksman first, or will they pick something like Lancelot again?
So I do think that Lancelot is not too bad of an option. And you know what? Natalia is also up online, and the Indonesians definitely love that. But it's not really a must to pick that up, especially when you have a pesky Kufar here. So,
Loi.
yeah, Loi definitely sounds like a better option for them right now. But hey, Lance is still here.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, we're gonna go for Lance. But aside from that, Loi is a hero where sometimes can be something that's very convenient to have. But if you've been targeted quite a lot by the opponents, you just pretty much shut her down and she loses her function entirely.
Especially if she gets hit by the Abyssal Arrow. Like, even when you're mid-way teleporting, you can just stop her on her track. So maybe not really the wisest of choice for the side of Alter Ego, but I think ONIC. Well, we did talk about this conversation before. Double mage? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, of course, that's pretty much a wait and see. But I do think that we can still go in for some of these standard marksmen that's left available. No Valor, though. First Valor ban for today.
Yep, it's so rare to see Valor being banned. Usually picked by the teams here. Will they settle for their course now? I'm still waiting. Who will be their main mid heroes? Probably gonna go for Hyper if they want to. And will it be another hero that have high resistance to go against like poke damage heroes, or maybe even a bit more tank?
Perhaps so. Like, I do think that if they were to go for, proper marksman, yes, it'll be great. But I'm looking at this pick. They really need to be very, very careful of the Lancelot, especially. And I feel the whole line of Alter Ego is to shut down whoever is going to be getting their hands over on towards that carry.
I'm loving the Alter Ego kind of draft, honestly speaking. They do have follow-ups here. I'm talking about Uranus, Kenzone, people out saying go for Xbox, Lost Insanity, and Dead Featherling. If they can drop the bomb with the Feather Extract alongside with the finishing by the Lancelot himself with so many skills, they can actually get a huge combination in that game. But then will it be denied with that last pick of Jawhead? Can just aim whoever he wants. For example, the Lancelot and also the Farsa will be the targeting heroes by this Jawhead himself.
So far, things are looking pretty great, but also Onyx lineup is not too bad, especially if you get some early pickoffs that will definitely send that Selena snowballing. But Farsa is now, it's not exactly pure counter per se. We're talking about long range combats, and if that Abyssal Arrow lands over onto his side of Udil, that's gonna be pretty much scary. And now it's time for us to see so all these sort of living rivalries as well as dramas unfold. Alter Ego Esports now takes on ONIC Esports. What's it gonna be? Pop it in the comments down below. Which team are you supporting? As we'll be heading in towards the land of dawn here for this best of 3 between these two Indonesian teams.
Look at all the smiley face coming out from ONIC Esports. They are pretty happy when they take that photo. But speaking of which, that gives them a lot of boost of confidence as well. We have heard about how they talk and the preparation when it comes to MPLI. So we're going to head into the game right now. That's a fast trap going from Drin. He's going to go straight for the buffs here to make sure they won't be infiltrated or actually stealed away by none other than the other teams. Well, Pi just going to play a bit of a tango against that Jawhead.
Yes, indeed. Now, we're looking at Rassi here, just bouncing around. That's too much damage coming in for anti-mage as well. So, both sides have to actually respect their own territories as anti-mage. Yes, you can regen for a little bit, but, they are definitely playing on very thin edges here. Once again, Rassi tries to actually go in for the Wanderer. That's pretty much gold going in for Leo Murphy.
Oh, and then Sully Boy. This is gonna be another Lancelot, which is gonna be babysit by Udil and also Murphy here. While Sasa, he's actually doing pretty good against Pi. I'm talking about the Uranus usually be unstoppable or untouchable, and I like the fact how they put up the lanes here, and it seems like pretty decent for both of the team. But would you switch that Uranus to bottom lane instead of top?
Maybe that is something that is considerable in some of these sort of options because I think Tam was definitely better against the Uranus. And eventually they are looking to actually gank them. And as we speak of it, we missed that first blood on our view, but of course we've been talking about it. And yes, it did happen. I guess this is definitely part of the plan to make sure that they kept him off guard.
Yeah, that's the thing I kind of question, did Pi have to actually swap the lanes? We're talking about that high-end dry emblem plus the Jawhead smart missile is not easy for a level 2 or even a level 1 Uranus to deal with. So he needs to figure out how he can get level 4 fast, or even if it's fighting against the Tam, which is actually better for the Uranus, so he can kite it for a bit more, you know?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Like, now that we're looking at so many of all this sort of pressure mounting over on towards the mid side, because top side is already gone. Like, there's no point since Uranus has already been there. But oh my, a little bit of eruption of some fights here by the corner river. Flicker being popped there by Leo Murphy. But oh boy, the damage is good coming from the side of Antimage. And this is 2-3 kills already in the back for ONIC Esports.
I love the fact how they love to just abuse the volcanic coming up from that Tamus. Anti-Mage playing it perfectly well. He knows when to pop the ultimate on time, at the same time buying the team to actually just get to him when they need it to be. Well done with that episode. Still not hitting Udil just yet. I'm waiting for Udil. The thing about Farsa is that you're really relying on his level for quite a lot. And hitting that level into early in the game is kind of hard with 0-3 right now. And Murphy is even struggling to just stay alive here going against these guys.
Oh, Rossi going in with a big Clarence Rage, and oh boy, Alter Ego still secures that turtle, but now all these members have to retreat, but it seems like they are actually getting the better trades here as they lost a flicker, but the Atlas is still going down. Double kill going in for Telly Boy, and Pi looking to actually walk towards his savior up there.
That was a really crucial turtle. I'm talking about them having themselves the advantage of the level and experience in the last minute, plus the goal to actually finish off their items, probably even shoes at this point. And that got them back up on their feet. 3-5, that was 0-3 back then. That changed a lot. And ONIC Anti-Mage just trying to push back the lanes. We're talking about the Minions also pressuring on both sides of the map here. And both teams seems still a fair fight for map control.
Oh my, it's no longer fair for members of ONIC here. Rossi gets caught out all by himself because he went and overextended with the bouncing ball. Ooh. And oh, there's another catch coming from Drian as well. Yam forced to flick it away, but it will still get the kill. Next is going to be Leo Murphy, but Udil, one more hit and he will survive.
Man, that was really close. The moment you kind of overconfident yourself, you let your guard down, that's where the mistake's been made. We're talking about this is a tug of war between these two teams. Back and forth between them, it's so hard to call who's winning right now.
Yeah, and of course, in terms of numbers, it might just look as if the kills
it's almost the same.
Yeah, it's about the same. Maybe in terms of distribution, a little bit different to whoever gets the most kills, but who cares? Like, you know, like you look at the graph of the goal, it's just about 500 in difference or less. Yeah.
Not too much yet. Not too much. Still, 1,000 is a really not even a gap to start with. We're talking about any mistake can turn the table over either side of a team. Either side of a team is anybody's game at this point, and still Anti-Mage waiting in the bush, waiting for somebody to give him more information. He started off by exposing himself too much. Sasa tried to throw somebody, but it seems like a bit too late here. Charging in. Never mind that.
A little bit too dangerous for Leo Murphy, but Charlie Boy says, oh, I want that turtle for myself, thank you very much. But here comes Sasa actually coming right into dive over the side of Util. He actually flicks him over, and now everyone, all these members of Alter Ego are in a disarray, but Charlie Boy makes an escape. Yamdo get caught out, and this is 3 more kills for ONIC Esports.
That's just tough because, you know, the moment they kind of miss that turtle, they pretty much making sure the gap is widened even more. And not just that, the moment they try to force the fight in the turtle, they are letting too much creeps or minions just going into the lazy anti-mage, try to buy more time. A little bit late when it comes to Rusty following up. The rest of the team tried to finish up, but still didn't just steal away that buff on the side of Pi. Still managed to put up a good fight.
Yeah, great work coming from the side of Rassi as well. There's so much of all this sort of the aggression that's coming from the side of ONIC Esports have definitely reaped them so much rewards. But yet again, like in terms of objective plays, Alter Ego is faring pretty much okay. Look at them and go. There's a lot of members here over on the other side of ONIC Esports to actually chase over Pi, while mid lane is pretty much gone. But here comes pressure over the side of Sasa. Oh, fatal links for that mega kill. And Drian running for his life, but there will be no escape whatsoever. Double kill coming over the side of that Lancelot. But oh, that was too sweet.
That was just on point. If you ask me, that fatal link is really fatal. Two of them went down super fast, and they have a lot of AoE to deal with the follow-up too. So the boy tried to actually just finish off the turret with the feather airstrike just to zone everybody who tries to defend it. But look at CW, kind of got chipped too much. It's soaking too much damage into himself. He needs to just regen it. And at the same time, can they scale towards late game here? We're talking about Alter Ego. Keep on pushing the lanes whenever they can.
Yeah, and now over on the side of Alter Ego, although they did lose a couple of lives, they don't really care. Like, all they're looking at is to just brute force their way, get that tower. I don't care if you chase me on the top side. I don't care if you chase me on the mid side. It's like, okay, you get those kills. I get even more objectives, more turtle for myself, and now goals pretty much leaning towards the side of Alter Ego thanks to their effort.
Yep, at the same time, they cannot afford to make a mistake. Anytime, anywhere, ONIC can just come back from this. They don't want to put their guard way too dumb and overconfident about it. Speaking of which, that was a nice setting up by the team. Ambush, and that's a racy down in the drain, and drain really low as well. Oh, there's so many people being knocked in the air so many times, and CW cannot run away from this. If he's down, this is gonna be a disaster for the side of ONIC Esports. We're talking about the core is nowhere to be seen. They do have Sasa, but can Sasa carry this one?
Things are looking so clean in terms of objective takedowns. It's like, okay, they got a bulldozer with them. It's not Uranus. It's just everyone just knocking at their doors time after time. And those kills definitely stashing up as well. Things are looking even up, but things will change here as they contest for this buff. Rassi's still trying to actually get this one on the way. Tyrant's Rage over on the corner, and they are all smashed up all together. But oh, Leo Murphy is pretty much low, but the damage is good. Sasa has to back away. Anti-Mage all the way towards the back line though, but he does not get Leo Murphy, and he escapes with that slither of health.
Man, that was straight for nothing on the side of ONIC Esports. I thought they had it just now. That was a nice setting up by Rassi for the Terrorist Rage. And I thought Sasa firing that missiles almost had them, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, so unfortunate. Like,
is it the damage that they are lacking right now?
Yeah, I felt like it was more of a little bit of that confusion because like there's a lot of flickers being tossed around. There was that bush that has been cutting the vision as well. So it's like you want to really go for the last hit, but you can't seem to really juggle it in the perfect manner. So it's more like, you know, slight little micro movements that did cost them that one kill, but hey, it doesn't really matter too much. It's more like ONIC Esports, if they do have that 5-man there, it would have been much easier for them, but it was pretty much a 3 versus 3, which eventually 2 of them back away.
But speaking of going in and back away, they need to kite this one Lord because this Lord is their lifeline. If ONIC Esports want to win this one in this series and not having too much pressure to, you know, going to... It's either you go big or go home now. They have to jeopardize everything they have to steal this one Lord away.
Yeah, and the worst news is that they don't have the Tamas by their side as well. While Uranus is cutting by, they are looking to actually secure this one in the back. And it seems like they will let this go for Alter Ego to secure that first Lord. Rassi, though, looking for escape, but he is pretty much cornered up. So he's just buying a little bit more time to stall what's the inevitable that's coming their way. And yeah, one more kill.
That roast on is just, never mind that. Just one blink and then he's gone. But again, Sasa, look at how much damage Pi just soaking in. But the last insanity combination of those two heroes is 2v4, mind you that. And they still managed to just get 1 or 2 for the trade.
Yeah, things are looking better than ever as we see Alter Ego now looking to actually break right through the inhibitor turret right down below. They're already letting things off while the Lord comes right in. This might just be one of the most cleanest games that we see coming from Alter Ego, but it's not going to be without a hassle here. Fatal links in towards Boy as they are looking to actually burn them down. Last insanity as well. Oh my goodness, look at the throne, how low it was.
The Lord was just smashing the throne, but they calculated that quite well. CW last minute defended that throne, but they lost the mid turret inhibitor no matter what. Anti-Mage will the sacrificial lamb for this time around. But oh no, the mid tower inhibitor tower is still there, but it's almost going to 0. But at the same time, Pi has been playing this place for some time.
Indeed.
He's been at the same place like ever.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, your duty, Uranus, is to be the top, not the bottom this time around. And you do not move from here.
It's been, you shall not pass towards other lanes.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Pi, but that's what he needs to do. That's what making the team having it a bit easier than they had in the first couple of minutes. We're talking about the first few games in the early phase is not doing so well for them, but they kind of scale now.
Yeah, and the only sort of rotations that he needs to make is when the next Lord comes up. So after he buys enough time, then maybe if Alter Ego even needs the Lord right now, I'm looking at them just crashing right in, and they are trying to actually secure something right here.
Yep, and now they're trying to get one. They managed to get Rassi, but the Feather Airstrike will hit nobody. Just zoning out anybody possible. Anti-Mage on the other hand. That was really a huge chunk of HP in one shot.
Indeed. Now, of course, about 2 more minutes in. Oh, that's a big catch. Immortality being popped. That is not a well-timed Tyrant's Rage as they will return the favor. 1 for 1, though. Not too bad of a trade. But Alter Ego, are they ready for this fight, though?
Oh, they didn't anticipate this one. They didn't know that actually ONIC still have whatever aggression on their side. And the fact that they actually choose to defend that mid inhibitor turret is really crucial. I'm talking about, yes, they can defend a lot, but the throne can regen itself. The mid turret inhibitor tower will not regen that. So they really need to hold on to that mid tower though.
Yeah, so far just hoping that they could just turn things around with one small misstep. ONIC Esports now defending very, very meticulously. And the only thing that they should be looking forward to is this sort of the Lord that's coming up online. So it's going to be pretty much empowered as we are looking at, the buff coming in.
That's so fast. That was like less than 1 second.
I literally blinked my eye and like,
I do want to see his item progression for Charlie Boy though. I do want to see how much damage item he has on his side and does he actually have any defensive item. We're talking about CW slowly trying to scale towards the game. He is farming for sure. He's not dying that much. They're losing quite a lot when it comes to the turret, but they still can turn things around.
Exactly, and the problem here is all the other members are so low level as compared to Jelly Boy, who's already 15. So he can still prey on the weak, like we saw Rassi early on just get shredded off. Now, a little bit too late, maybe, for the side of ONIC Esports to respond, but they need to make this work. They don't really have retribution, so they need to brute force their way to actually secure this one. But they're crashing in, last in insanity. But oh my goodness, that will still be the Lord in the hands of Alter Ego. Sasa still chasing right in though, but ONIC Esports, they do not want to let them go. They want to smash them all across. But Animage, he's actually trading for the double, and he's still pretty much alive. Yem trying to juggle his way through. There is a little bit of movement right there as he takes a rune, but Pi, he will get another one in the bag. 3 kills as we see Animage all alone.
That is that Uranus we've talked about, and there you go. If that wasn't being timed, that's probably gonna be a maniac if it's in a row. The only person remaining on the side of ONIC Esports is just Rin, and we know Selena cannot clear the creep or the minion wave as fast as other heroes.
Yeah, even if she actually clears the minion wave, there is the Lord saying hello as they are looking to secure Gain 1, Drian already dropping down, and this is pretty much another kill going in the back as Pi actually secures them this huge win for Alter Ego Esports.
That's a lot of words with their own actions coming from